To solve for the radius, diameter, area, and circumference of a circle. Here's a circle, and you're given the circumference, 42.25. The circumference is the distance around a circle one time. The formula for circumference is C equals 2 pi r. What we have to do is solve for r. In order to do that, we have to plug in the 42.25 where you see a C. So 42.25 and set that equal to 2 pi r. This is the C in the formula, and we've plugged in 42.25. Now to solve after that point, you have to divide both sides by 2 pi so that you can get those 2 pi's to cancel out on the right and just be left with an r. On the left, you have to work that out on your calculator. There are two ways to work it out on your calculator. One is right, one is wrong. We're going to do the wrong one on purpose to show you the difference. So type in 42.25 and then hit divide, and then 2, and then the pi button. Joe, your pi button would be second caret, yeah. So if you hit enter, you should get 66.366144481. That is wrong. That is not the answer. And here's why. Type it in as 42.25, divide, and then put a left-hand parenthesis on it, and then 2 pi, and a right-hand parenthesis. What do you get this time? 6.7242963. That's right, and that's the right answer. The way you did it before without the parentheses would have given you 42.25 times 2, and then whatever that answer is times pi. That's not going to be right. You have to put the parentheses around anything you're dividing by that's more than one term. So the answer, when you round to the tenths place, is 6.7. That's because it was 6.724, and this number is less than 5. Well, not this number, but this number is less than 5. So this one stays the same, 6.7. Example 2. You're given the circumference, and you have to find r. The formula for circumference is C equals 2 pi r, and where you see the C, you want to put 103.6. And to get r by itself, you divide both sides by 2 pi. That gets rid of this 2 pi by the r, and you're left with just r on the right. But on the left here, you have to type that in and round to the tenths place. So 103.6, divide, left-hand parenthesis, and then 2 pi, right-hand parenthesis. What should you get?
16.488.
Rounded to the tenths place? 16.5. You need to set 703.62 equal to 2 pi r and divide both sides by 2 pi. Cancel out. That leaves you with r on the right, and I canceled out here by mistake. That doesn't cancel out. 703.62 divided by 2 pi comes out to be 112 even. You have to set 302.73 equal to 2 pi r, and then divide both sides by 2 pi. These 2 pi's will cancel out. You're left with r, and you're going to have to do 302.73 divided by, and don't forget the parentheses around the 2 pi, And the answer should come out to be 48.2. Example 3. You're given the area of a circle and you have to find the diameter. So if you're given the area, you're going to need the area formula, and that is A equals pi r squared. And since you're given A, you should plug that in, 463.21, and set it equal to pi r squared. You want the r by itself, so you have to start eliminating things. Divide both sides by pi. When you do that, the pi's cancel out, and you're left with r squared. Don't calculate this fraction yet. Just leave it the way it is. And here's why. R squared is not the answer we're looking for right now, it's r. And to undo a square, you need the square root. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. So the square root of r squared is r, and you'll need the square root of the other side, right there. In your calculator, you have to plug it in like this. Hit second x squared, and then once you do that, you have a parenthesis that shows up automatically. And type in 463.21, and then divide. Hit the pi button. You don't need parentheses around pi because it's only the one thing in the denominator. And then hit a right hand parenthesis, and then enter. What do you get? 12.1 rounded to the tenths place. That is not your final answer, though. What is the answer we're looking for?
Double that.
Double that to find the diameter. Yes, so diameter would end up being twice this. You want to have twice that, and that is 24.2 for your final answer. What is the formula for the area of the circle? Pi r squared. And what do we put in for A? 6257.26. And then do what to both sides? Divide by pi. And these cancel out. So you get r squared. And don't do anything with this yet. Do I have too many 5s?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just scratch one out. That'll be a blooper for the video. And then what do we have to do to both sides now? Square root. So we're left with an r, and hit second x squared, 6257.26, and then divide by pi, and finish it off with a right hand parenthesis, and get what? 44.6. That's not our final answer. What do we do? Double it and get what? 89.2. Because we're going to round it after, or we're going to double it after we round. First, you need the formula for the area, which is pi r squared. And then you're going to put in the 416.2 for the area. Go back and divide both sides by pi, and they cancel out. You're left with r squared. Don't do anything with this fraction yet because you need the square root of both sides, which gives you an r on the right. And then on your calculator, you need the square root of 416.2 divided by pi,
11.5.
which is 11.5. And from there, you have to double it to get the diameter, so you would end up with a 23. On this one, you have a circle with the circumference, but you have to find the area. So if you're given the circumference to start with, then write the circumference formula, 2 pi r, and substitute in the 712.3 for the circumference. Now you want to solve for r, and to do that, you divide both sides by 2 pi, and they cancel out. So you're left with r, and what you need to do now is leave this the way it is. Don't touch it yet. And notice that you have to find A. The formula for area is pi r squared, and this is r. So what you want to do is insert this fraction into that place for r. So 712.3 over pi, and it's going to be squared at some point in that formula. Here's what we did again. We found the circumference formula. We put the circumference into it. Here it is. We divided both sides by 2 pi, so they cancel out here. Left with an r. Don't do anything with this fraction yet. Put it into the area formula for r so we can find area. And here's how you multiply that out on the calculator. First you need the pi button. So you need pi and then times left hand parenthesis 712.3. And don't forget, this either didn't show up or I didn't write it, but you're supposed to have a 2 pi right there on this spot. Maybe I wrote it and it didn't touch the screen enough. But yeah, you're supposed to have a 2 pi there. So in your calculator, it's pi times left hand parenthesis 712.3 divided by left hand parenthesis 2 pi, right hand parenthesis, and then another one. And then hit the square button. What should you come up with?
That confuses me. How many parentheses do you have?
40,375.3. And here's how you type it in the calculator. You want pi first, and then times, left hand parenthesis, 712.3, divide, left hand parenthesis, 2 pi, right hand parenthesis, and then another one, and then a square symbol at the end.